Hey everybody, it's time for another NFL in London podcast. Wade McElwain. Ryan is away on vacation. We've got Zared Coburn joining us. Zared is an old friend. He's in our fantasy. He's in New Zealand right now, so that's nice. How you doing, bud? It's been ages since I've actually seen you in person.
It's been a while. It's been a long time since I've lived in the UK, but moved back home to have a family and really enjoying it here. And you forgot to add um, fantasy football champion as well. I'm the defending
I
champion.
forgot you did win it. I'm glad that you've got a bit of hubris and you're not one of those guys who likes to rub it in people's faces.
No,
We do have our A and B league. Zared won the top league, A league. The loser of the A league has to go to the B league, and I think that's Ryan this year. So all sorts of and Chapman's moving up. So
yes,
there's so much going on, so much going on. But the good thing is it's NFL training camp started, which means we're close to the season. Um, Zared, as you can tell from the hat, is a Saints fan, and you just had two guys retire in the past couple days. Jimmy Graham, Tyrann Mathieu, both gone. I mean, Jimmy was, old news. He was for the Bears anyway for a while before he went back to New Orleans. But how does that feel for your team? Because you guys are not slated to do well this year.
not slated to do well at all. I think our win total is pretty bad. Uh, Jimmy Graham, I think, just did a rowing challenge across the
Yes.
seven straight or something. I just read that, so I don't know
Yeah.
if he was actually in football shape or if he was just in rowing shape. But Tyron Matthews is a huge loss for us. I think, yeah, that's really gonna. I don't know, was he reporting back or did he like see the team and went, no, not really my cup of tea. So I just don't. Yeah, a bit worried about what that implications are.
Yeah, I guess as you get older too, it's that idea of, am I going to get injured this year? Is this going to be one of those years where I'm doing this and this is going to be just a sucky year? And yeah, you know what? I'm too old for this crap. To quote Murtaugh from Lethal Weapon. But I think a lot of guys too, when you just see the extended season, the CTE, and the fact that you probably got a family going, man, I just don't want to get pummeled out there, and you've got Carr the same reason, right? I mean, Carr made the decision to end it all and join his better looking brother, maybe doing some podcasting.
Yeah, I think he did us a little bit of a favor. I think didn't he save 10 million and he gave us 30 back. So I think that was an okay deal. Got us out of salary cap hell that we always used to. So I don't know. I'm more every time I watch a Louisville highlight reel, I'm more okay with Taylor Shop. I don't know. It's probably getting a bit blinded by the light, but yeah,
Sure.
the same coaches that coached Lamar Jackson are praising Schaub. So I don't know. Spencer Rattler's still there, so I'll wait and see.
Well, you've got the Rattler. What about your running game? I mean, you've got Kamara. You guys have picked up a couple of guys, so too. But Kamara, is he sort of losing his juice? Do you think he's going to have the same zip, or not even really having an offensive line to really support him there and give him the openings?
I think the offensive line. I think they're going to surprise everybody. I think we've got some. Penix has obviously moved in from his position, right tackle, and we've obviously got Banks in as well. So I'm pretty like I think they're going to surprise a lot of people just with it is quite young. We've got Ruiz there from previous times, and we did have Ramchek retire, but I'm pretty happy with overall with how it is. I know we're going to talk a lot about the Saints, but we can move on. But it's pretty sad. But Alvin Kamara is old. He did. He was slated to get 60 million this year or something like that before they renewed his contract. But
Yeah,
we've got another rookie sixth rounder, I think Neil. So
yeah.
with similar traits, and then we've got injury-prone Miller from TCU, from his famous TCU season. So we'll just wait and see what happens. If he stays healthy, we should be okay.
I mean, we're going to go through some NFL news and then also do a little bit of look at each one of the divisions. But let's talk about, because there's some of the topics we talked about. There's a lot of what we're seeing now is a lot of guys are not being signed, particularly a lot of the rookies not being signed yet. And you also have teams like the Bengals and the Cowboys who are kind of slow in terms of signing. Do you think this is something of a greater problem, or is this why are teams acting like this? Do you feel?
I think they're scared of the guaranteed money. I think the Stewart signing. I think I saw a video yesterday of the owner talking about him being in jail if possible. I was shocked at the context of the video, but once you watch the video, I kind of got his point. But still, kind of a shocking video. I think this the Bengals defense is like gonna they're hoping that they're gonna score like 30 to 40 points a game, and literally their defense is gonna just not be on the field. It's just they're I just scared. I'm scared of these big signings, like even Cowboys and Trey Hendrickson for the Bengals. Like they're just gonna when the TJ Watt signing came out, it was a lot of money on the table. And so now Parsons is
Sure.
saying in the previous video, he said he's going to want full money now. He's not going to give them the
Yeah.
discount. So it's. I think Jerry Jones is its classic thing. He's always waited for Prescott deals, so he's just going to let that run. So
Yeah, he really waits to the last minute on everything. And I mean, and then he gives the big reward. He plays these sort of little games with people. It's like, oh, I'll make you wait. I'll make you wait. And it seems to me that when he makes people wait, they make him pay. And so
yeah,
it seems, that Jones is, he's playing this big strategy. But at the end of the day, these agents are just going to start, okay, this is the way Jerry is. He's got his own stuff going on. You don't even know, I mean, obviously you don't want to play ageism, but, he's getting on and you wonder how much capacity he has and whether or not his kids are actually stepping in and going, okay, Dad, this is what we need to do. I think the Trey Hendrickson is really, for the Bengals, I think it's really scary for them because you say they don't have anything. They've spent so much money on Chase and Burrow, and they've got all these tools on offense. And as we've talked about before, what do they were always playing catch up. So how are you going to keep doing that? You can't use that as your strategy because teams are just going to look at that and go, okay, well we're up. All we have to do is go up a couple scores, and their defense is, their offense is going to have to keep trying to catch up on it. It's going to be interesting. How do you feel about what the Bengals are doing? Because it seems like across the board, a lot of people are complaining. A lot of the players are complaining that maybe the management in Cincinnati is not all that it's cracked up to be.
no, but there's been years of that as well, though. But you've got to love the offense, though, don't you? Like I've watched, and everyone's probably clicked onto the NFL quarterback and watched, Joey Cool. But Chase Brown gave us flashes at the end of the season. Well, not flashes, gave us, we know the injury to Zach Moss at the end of last season was just
Yeah.
awesome for Chase Brown, especially if you're a fantasy owner. But
Yeah.
you got Jamar Chase and Higgins, top paid in their position, and Gesicki has obviously come over from Miami and been really good for them. So it's just a great offense. I don't know if they start well. I know they've never, like last season and seasons before, they've
Yeah.
never really kicked into their straps and had injuries with the quarterback position. But I don't know. I just love that offense. It's hard to go away. I'm probably giving away a bit of fantasy strategy here. I know we're not talking about that, but
Ooh, oh
it's just
no.
yeah, yeah. But I just love that offense. And I know it's that division they're in. They've got to have that high
Yeah.
power offense. They've got the Ravens there, and they've got what the Steelers will look like as well. So we're not counting. Browns are just the Browns, but I just love
Yeah, I
the
mean, it's
Bengals
also. I
offense.
guess I wonder a bit about their running game. Cincinnati. Mixon was at his best, and you could rely on him. And now you're sort of wondering. It's like, okay, how is this running game going to go? Because I don't feel that it's got a big impactful run game that they have.
I, yeah, I, I'm the opposite. I think Chase Brown has just been like he at the end of last season with the Zach Moss injury. I go back to it, but I really liked his stuff. I really liked what he did and how he came in and owned that position. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Zach Moss is there, and he's going to have that goal line work as well, which he was quite successful at. And P Ryan's there, but yeah, I think it's going to be the Chase Brown show, and they'll give him more ball. But with the power offense like that, you've got to have a downside. But Chase Brown isn't that bad. Like he's yeah,
Yeah.
I highly like him.
Now let's talk because we've talked about this because in that division, we're going to go through all the divisions in a little bit, but obviously the Aaron Rodgers situation. I mean, when you look at sort of how a disappointment it was for the Jets, however, when you look at some of his latter half of the season stats, he was actually pretty good. He
Yeah.
wasn't that. Do you think this is this going to be the one that Aaron Rodgers comes out and starts blasting and puts all his critics on notice, or is this going to be one of those seasons where he just flips and flops like a dead fish?
I I think it's going to be the season for him because you can't. There's been multiple times where people have gone to the Jets and not performed. You've got Eugeno Smith who's come out and been a totally different player since signing with them. You got I'm gonna say Sam Darnold was at the Jets, was
Yeah,
he? Yeah, Sam
yeah.
Darnold, same thing. You've got Aaron Rodgers, so is it the Jets effect? I don't know, but That offense as well with DK Metcalf signing. You've got you've got Jono Smith signing as well. So and their defense as well. You know
Hmm.
they've tightened up that secondary. Yeah, there's old men at the back, but just yeah, I'm a lot more excited about the Steelers this year. And Mike Tomlinson always finds a way to win and have a winning
Yeah.
season. Obviously not in playoffs, but
Yeah.
it's a good addition. I'm more optimistic about their chances than, but they've got to be in that division. You know, they have to have
Well, I
a
mean, yeah, it's a tough division. I mean, aside from the Browns, but it is Tomlin's coaching that you sort of go, okay, this is a guy that has winning seasons. He has respect. He has the discipline. He has those bulging, fiery eyes that you can just tell when the guy's pissed off. So, I mean, you look at so many of those factors, you go, it looks like it could be good. You just wonder if Aaron pisses it all away, and or what happens if he injures himself in game one again. Then your season's like, okay, we're kind of screwed now because then you got to go back to Mason Rudolph.
Are they playing at midlife? Because it just seems like midlife is the injury capital of the
Medlife
world.
is the
So
it is the ankle killer. Although
yes,
they were doing the FIFA World Club World Cup final there, and they put grass in for it. But I don't know
ah,
if they're ripping it out. I don't know if they're ripping it out again. We should ask
okay.
Joe in that one in our NFL group because he's a Jets fan. But
That he is.
it'd be interesting because they did put it in for that, and obviously it wasn't that Club World Cup was not well attended. They're actually talking about now moving some of the World Cup games for immigration issues. They're saying, well, we might have to put something in Canada. And we're
I
like, we
did
don't want
see.
no soccer. Um, but, it's going to be an interesting one. Now, we talk about, obviously you had in the East, or sorry, in the AFC, Rashi Rice suspension, 4 games. Um, you know, the Chiefs just seem to be one of those things where you're never going to really write them off. As long as Mahomes still has fire in his blood, that the Chiefs are going to be okay. How big do you think that'll affect it, or do you think that's just going to motivate him more?
He seems to have his spreading the ball around a lot as well. And you've got Xavier Worthy there. They've signed, and he's had obviously game winning potential. Well, he's had the game winning potential, and Hollywood Brown as well is just added to that as well. So having Hollywood Brown there is just key for them. And obviously, it depends how Old Man Kelsey goes this year. We can call him that now, I guess. But
Yeah.
they've still got the Chiefs. You know, Patrick Mahomes. That's their biggest strength, quarterback. So, and he's going to find a way to win. And he's got that, as you say, fire in the belly. I
Yeah, I
can't
mean,
count
you
them
got
out.
Spags and Reed too. I mean, it really helps. I mean, I
Yeah.
think one of those things you started noticing last year was the coaching does make a big difference. That
Mm.
having a good coach is going to lead you, in your journey. And to Tomlin's point, a great coach can get you those 10 wins when you've got some other bad coaching where Jacksonville just can't seem to really get their stuff together. To that, the Bears picking up Ben Johnson. Um, the coach, not the sprinter. Um, he's also Canadian, but I think there's a lot of anticipation because obviously with the coaching going wrong last year and Caleb not being fully nurtured and being the play calling was just ridiculous. Um, I mean, I'm confident in Ben Johnson this year. I think that we've made enough moves with the Bears to be able to get some good talent to surround Caleb. How do you
Mhm.
think this is going to go down for him?
It's hard not to count out the Bears like this year because of Caleb Williams. You know, he's going to hopefully step up in this new season. Swift is obviously a great signing ages back, but Roshan Johnson, Texan, I think Texas,
Yeah,
went to Texas as well, and he sat behind Bijan. So
yeah.
he was a great signing there. So he's going to develop. DJ Moore, great, great talent. But the Loveland pick as well. I was really
Yeah,
surprised they took Loveland over Taylor. From
yeah.
Taylor was at, oh geez, where was he? He was at no,
Well, Loveland was
Penn
Michigan,
State.
right? So
Yeah,
Penn State.
Penn
Okay, yeah.
State. Yeah, he was Penn State. I think Taylor was from. But everyone was surprised about that pick. But I don't think you were. I remember saying that. But
No,
thinking
I
that.
wasn't. I mean, he's a big guy with good hands, and I think that they were
Hmm.
looking. I think that was sort of Ben Johnson's thing, is he really liked this guy. He wanted a guy that could block. He wanted a guy, that could run slots, that could basically protect Caleb, but also open up spread the field a bit for him, so that if Williams does want to run, there's some space down the field. So Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be pieces. The defense, we've started getting some guys together on that. So I think that the defense was
O-line.
not bad last year. There was, they were keeping us in game. So uh, I think that it'll be a rising season for us as opposed to one where it's just stagnated.
And O-line as well.
Um,
That's what I was saying before as well. Like O-line for you
yeah,
has
we had to
been the
make a
big
lot of
one.
choices. I mean, getting
Yeah.
what's his name from the Chiefs. Um, so I mean, that's those are good moves. We've got some good moves because you need to protect a guy. There's no point in paying all this money for a guy, for a quarterback just to have everything go tits up. Um, I think when we look at teams, because there's always those teams that they call the bridesmaids, because it's never their wedding. And I think the Ravens are one, that Lamar keeps coming so close, but there's always something, whether it's the juju of the Chiefs,
Humble.
pardon the pun, but whatever it is that sort of screws them over. Um, do you think that now they got their secondary sorted, they're in the game, they got King Henry there. How do you think, do you feel that this is the Ravens, between Ravens, Bills, and Chiefs, is this the Ravens of the strongest they've been?
The signings as well, the off-season defense. I just think they've just added to it. Their Starks
Mm-hmm.
was their first overall pick, was just I think that was a home run. I just don't see. I see it shut down in secondary because last season I think they had an issue with secondary with
Mm-hmm.
not with Hamilton more, but with this with the corners, and they've addressed
Yeah.
that. So they've only got better in the off season. I think they've got an issue with their interior line with O line, but I think that's common with Ravens teams. They've always had an issue at guard, but if they have Stanley as well on the offensive line, if he's healthy, I think they're going to be unstoppable. I just don't see. I've watched enough video of Derrick Henry running up hills that I'm pretty excited. With chains behind him and darting, I just don't see the drop off. And if Zay Flowers has a season where he's actually uh, outpaces his outpaces what people's expectations are of him,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be it's just going to be another season where. But when they come to the playoffs, that's going to be the issue. So
Yeah,
are
well,
they
it's
going
it's the momentum that they sort of carry. Is it can they
to?
win? Can they keep winning? And what kind of momentum can they bring? Let's talk then about the Eagles returning the Super Bowl champions. The pressure that's on them. They lost a few players. Not as bad as San Fran, but they lost some players, especially at defense. How do you feel that they're going to step up because that Super Bowl last year was just a beatdown. That
Mm.
defense was just a star, and you look at Patrick Mahomes, his eyes were just like, what the hell's going on? How do you feel that they can repeat like this? Do you feel that the Eagles still have all those tools at their disposal that they'll be able to come together?
They've still got the tush push, so
Yeah.
they got that vote through. So they did a speech and brought out the stars and still got that allowed through. So that would have peed off a couple of teams, but especially in the NFC East. But um, they've lost quite a bit on edge rush as well. So
Mm-hmm.
it's and line is it linebacker I think as well. Nolan's going to have
Yeah.
to step up.
Yeah.
So that defense, but that O line is just solid. I just don't see it. I just don't see the regression in the draft picks they have had has just been like backing up, and just bringing guys in constantly when people either retire or leave. They're just bringing in like first, second round talent all the time. So it's just it's hard to go past them, and they've still got Saquon.
Well, and that's
Saquon's
it. What do you
gonna.
think of Saquon? Do you think he's going to have the same kind of season he had last year? Or do you see a regression? Do you see him dropping off or getting better or staying the same?
I think staying the same, if not, like it's just so hard to repeat. But that O line, you still got left tackle, right tackle as well, and Lane Johnson and the Aussie as well. Um, so it's not. I just don't see the regression in Saquon because I was a big supporter of when the Giants took him second overall in the NFL draft, and everyone was being like, "Why would you take him? Why would you take him?" And I just don't see. I've always seen it. He's just never had the team to play behind, and I don't see how he cannot be the player he has been. But yeah, and they've still got top receivers as well. You've still got AJ and Deontay as well. So yeah, it's going to
Well, let's
be.
talk San Francisco then? Because they got CMC, who was a big deal for them when they got him, pushed them towards the Super Bowl. He's got the Hollywood life now. He's getting a little older, a little more injury prone. And San Fran traded away so much of their defense and part of their offense that they're sort of a shell of them for their former selves.
They are.
What, I mean, and there's a lot of people are saying they're going to get 10 wins. Ryan and I talked about it last podcast. I couldn't see it based on what they've done. They got a good coach, but they've lost so much talent. What do you think? With all the defensive people they've lost, how do you see that going for them?
It's the schedule. I think people are quite high on their win total because of the schedule they've got. If you base it off what you based it off previously, their schedule just is screaming for them to win. I just don't see the problem with that, but they've got injuries as well. So I think Ricky Pearsall and Brandon Ayuk are on the physically unable to perform list. So Jennings is going to have to step up. He's seeking a new contract as well, I saw. So there's that worry around that. But McCaffrey, I don't want to reveal too much, but I'm all in on McCaffrey. I'm all in on McCaffrey. He's getting to that age, and I just don't believe in that injury prone thing. If you give him the ball, good things happen. And 2 years ago, that was the case, and he let me down last year. But I'm going back to the well. I'm drunk on McCaffrey water. So
if you had number one pick in our draft, you would take McCaffrey?
No.
Okay.
I'm taking Chase. If I have number one pick, you're taking Chase. But McCaffrey's a value pick. Like he's gonna be later, and he's gonna be later sitting there, and people are gonna be worried taking him. If you're in an auction draft, there's going to be value there for people as well. So I know we're getting fantasy talk, but I really like San Fran. The only thing that you're right, the only thing that's going to let them down is defense. They've lost a lot of pieces on defense, and they've got that problem there. But if they can score and keep the offense on the field and the defense off the field, then they should be okay.
We'll go into my division as well. I mean, we'll go through all the divisions, but I mean, the pressure on, you've got a good team and good coaching in Minnesota. McCarthy's never really played in the NFL. And coming off an injury, going into, all the pressure's on him now. And their backup situation is not that good. You got Sam Howell and a rookie and a couple other guys. Is this going to be a problem for them? Do you think McCarthy, because he's going to have to jump into it right away?
They're expecting him to be the McCarthy of winning national championship, and I just don't. I personally didn't see the height of his pick. Everyone's been high on him. I know the injury last year has stopped his progress, but we'll wait and see. So if it doesn't work out with JJ McCarthy, Sam Howell's just going to jump in and start throwing interceptions. So is that going to be any better than what JJ McCarthy is? But you've got two great receivers there. So, Justin Jefferson can catch a ball in a radius of a mile wide. So it's a great position to be in for a rookie, that you've got that talent there. And even Hawkinson and Addison. And then you've got, Aaron Jones there to run the ball for safety as well, who's been very good. So, and their O-line's improved quite a bit from when it was. And that was always one of their Achilles heels is O-line pass rush. For them has been an issue, but they've got some good pieces there and a great coach that seems to have that Sam Darnold effect that's changed Sam Darnold from Jets Sam Darnold and Carolina Sam Darnold to the next big thing. So $100 million man or something he is now. So
how do you think he'll do in Seattle?
I'm not quite sure. JSN. It depends. They lost DK, who hasn't been great, signs of DK, but everyone knows how to beat Sam Darnold now. I think if you pressure him, he folds, and that's I think that's what's going to happen. I think there's been some signings, I believe, with the Seahawks trying to stop that happening with their O-line, but that's always been a little bit for them is O-line pressure. So I'm not a big Sam Darnold fan because everyone knows how to beat him now. And if you pressure him, he just really caves.
You mentioned college football. You're a big college football fan too, aren't you?
Big college football fan.
Who's
Go
who's
Cal.
your team again?
Go
Go
Cal.
Cal. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Because college football starts in a month. All right.
Does.
It sort of kicks it off just before the NFL starts. What are your sort of thoughts on the college football? Because they've got that Dave Portnoy, I guess, is joining as like a big
Big team.
as an analyst.
Yes.
They're trying to keep the youth going, and you've got obviously Pat McAfee as a big mouthpiece for it. What are your thoughts on the college season going ahead?
I think they've when you go, I don't know. I've been to games before. Like I went to Northwestern Cal in Berkeley, and just you find it's just a different it's just a different game. It's everyone's so hyped about it. They've got the student section, and Dave Portnoy's getting that youth movement. And he's been doing it before. He's set up his own show, and you've watched it, and he's done it quite successfully. That he's gone around college campuses and and started his own thing. But I'm really excited about college football this year, especially watching the quarterback talent as well coming through. And seeing that develop, I always think that is a strength of mine, of making sure I watch college football to see what talent's coming through that I can pick up. Especially when I used to do a lot of keeper league or dynasty, of picking up those young talent and then recognizing it. But yeah, I'm really excited for college football this year. Not excited for Cal, but excited for the national championship playoffs, that kind of thing. So big teams this year is obviously LSU for me. I think LSU is going to do really well. Um, Penn State as well, really good team. Hard to count out Ohio State, which is my brother-in-law's team. So always like that game when they play Michigan. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool to follow. I just think it's not enough coverage. I think you've got to kind of
Yeah.
find it. But yeah, really excited about just seeing quarterback talent. I think next year's draft and all the quarterback talent coming through is going to be cool to watch.
Well, you've got all the NIL deals now too, which are making it interesting. Hey, look, it's good guys are getting paid, but it's also kind of weird that you have guys going, I want to go back to school. I don't want to play in the NFL. I want to make this money. Why, if you're making, $500,000 a year, maybe you don't make the NFL, like it's
Mm.
those kind of things. So it's maybe personality in college. I've always said too that it would be interesting if there was a way to push the season or elongate the college football season a bit, so that the final game, the national championship, or you add more to the playoffs, they could do it maybe around the Pro Bowl week, just before the Super Bowl. So you have college football finals, then the NFL. It would be crazy, that'd be so exciting. But I don't know the logistics and being able to do that.
Yeah, I
Giving
think they
them
want to
maybe a
expand. They want to expand the
yeah,
college football playoffs eventually. So I don't know if it's going to get there, but and how that's going to work. But it's yeah, there's so much games to watch. Like I just go on ESPN and they've got a huge amount of games on there, but it's hard to find the games you really want. You've really got to hunt them down. So
well, I guess in New
that's
Zealand as
limits me.
well, because in Canada I get them quite a bit, and UK, there's dodgy sticks you can get them. Now they are talking too, because ESPN is now rumored to be buying the NFL Network and Red Zone, and
Oh,
putting that
really?
into their fold. So that was just in the news today that they're looking at doing that, and that they've got an offer in to do it. I mean, DAZN did a deal with the NFL to till 2033. So that's the international Game Pass. I mean, because I think a lot of times in North America, you have to buy Netflix, you have to have Prime, you have to have all of these things. And I mean, the only thing in the UK is that we don't get the Sky games if Sky is doing it anymore. Um, but it's just it's just hard to find, and it's pretty expensive if you're in America, to be able to watch it. In Canada, we don't get all the games. So, but for you, what time do you get up? Because the NFL is on early morning for you, right?
Yeah. So we get up at 5 in the morning to watch their first games because of daylight savings. We have a great thing called daylight savings here in New Zealand, and so yeah,
Did the
5
Hobbits
a.m.
invent that?
No, no, no.
No.
They're the supporters of it though. So
Okay. Well, the Shire. I mean, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
double
So
breakfast and all that.
our first game during daylight savings is 5. Then I think the next one starts at 8, somewhere around there, and then we get a game at 12. But then that changes back to 6, and then gets later sometimes at 7. But yeah, it's if you're a true, we always say when we're sitting there with all our friends in the chat, as you do, you open up the chat and you're chatting about all the mean touchdowns that are happening. Um, yeah, it's good morning, true fans, is what we say, because if you're up at 5 in the morning to watch American football, you must be keen on it. So yeah, it's definitely a religion to some
Do
people there.
people do people go to bars in the morning? Like, are there bars that are open early for this, or is that not a thing? No, no one's like,
No,
hey, the bar's open at 5 o'clock to watch American football.
no, not that I know of, unless you try and if you're a part of some kind of um, team chat or something like that you've got a good following. But I've never seen that happen. The NFL have sent a couple of bar things over here
Okay.
for to throw us a bit of crumbs, but that's about it.
Let's go through the divisions then, because Ryan and I did it the last podcast. We were doing win totals, but I just want to get your thoughts on the division. Who you think is going to sort of win the division, and sort of general thoughts on how you see it going. So let's start AFC East. Bills obviously
Bills.
favored to win this one, and the Dolphins not looking great. You've got Vrabel coming in for the Pats, and then the Jets, Justin Fields. I mean, they clean house management wise. What are your thoughts on the AFC, and how do you see the winning the team coming out of that?
Bills. I don't see it. Yeah, I can't. There's no competition. I don't think. Well, you can say that they've got the offense and the Dolphins and stuff, but they've they've got rid of Jono Smith and Tyreek's getting a little bit older now, so I don't see the Dolphins challenging the Bills, and the Bills spread offense and how they pass the ball around and not give it to one person, so they're not reliant on that one talent. It's just, yeah, I just don't see them not winning. You've got Patriots have had some good signings, but Drake May's still
Yeah.
developing. I like the Henderson pick, and Diggs is obviously there to watch maybe the Bills win the win the division.
Yeah. Do some
The
Tucci.
classic meme there, but yeah, I think there's no conversation around the AFC East. It's all Bills unless they drastically do something wrong, like
Well, we
Josh
go to
Allen
the
goes down.
AFC. Yeah, well, that could hurt because they're backup. But AFC North, then obviously the Bengals, who started very slow last year. You have the Steelers, who do really well. Cleveland, who have just all sorts of wrong, and then of course there's Baltimore. Um, how do you get the sort of the 1, 2, 3 in that one?
Uh, I would say I would say the Ravens in one, Bengals Bengals two, Steelers three, then obviously Browns four.
Yeah.
I think maybe if it depends on how Aaron Rodgers is it maybe 2 to 3. I don't know the win totals, don't have them in front of me, but
Yeah, no, no, no.
that's
It's
my gut
these are all
feeling.
way too early predictions, by the way. These
Yeah,
are
way
just
too early.
things that we're just trying to get through.
Yeah.
Let's move to the dirty South. Jacksonville had been doing well. Houston, fell a little bit last year,
Yeah.
and then of course you've got Indianapolis. Um, w- how do you feel about this division, and in terms of Tennessee, which no one really cares about? But how do you see this one going?
I think Houston rebounds. I think they've got that. I like the Higgins. I like the Higgins pick. I think that's a great addition to replace Dell as well. So and the Kirk one, I was a bit
Hmm.
ho hum, but yeah, Houston. Then we've got Jacksonville, and then Indianapolis, Tennessee. I think that rookie still got time to develop, and their top guys Ridley, and you've got Lockett. That's about it. So and defense, they've still got holes there as well. So and Indianapolis, Richardson's let them down so many times. Dan Jones is
Yeah.
probably going to get another go.
Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, it'll be an interesting one. Let's go to the West End. Kansas City, obviously, the ones to look at, but the Chargers getting better. Broncos, playing real tough under Coach Payton last year. Your boy, and then
Yep.
Vegas. Um, got Pete Carroll going in. What kind of things do you think can happen in the West?
Really hard division. I think people are underestimating the AFC West. I think obviously got Kansas City there, but the the Broncos and the Chargers, like Broncos O line, and they've got Mims, Sutton, they've got great pieces, Sultan. I really like the Broncos. I think I think I'm going to say it, they're the dark horse. I think they've set up themselves for success, and they've yeah. I really like the Harvey pick. Dobbins just solidified their run game, but you got the Chargers there as well. Harris, I don't think it's going to be that great. I'm just not sold on him from Pittsburgh, and his run meters was just terrible. And they've got a great secondary there as well. So yeah, I really like it. And then you've got Ashton Genty and Gino as well. So I think this is the hardest division to pick. Probably first you can say it's going to be the Chiefs, but it's going to be second. And they're going to make the playoffs. I think no matter what, that team's going to make the playoffs. It's just a really good division.
Chargers had an incredible D last year, but what point do you think that everyone sort of, when you start looking at Justin Herbert, that you sort of go, come on, like, is it his fault though? Is it the coaching? You know, he's balling out, but why is it they would just lose some sort of key games? You're like, what are you guys doing?
I think they get outpaced as well. So they really run heavy. They're gonna and they that's the coaching style. They're going to be very run heavy, and they want to hold the ball. And other teams now, this is a passing. If it's sad to say, but this is a passing league. This is a high scoring league now. The the scores are just huge now in games. So I just think that kind of style of football works really well in the playoffs, but might let them down in that. But they've got Lane McConkey, and Trey Harris is in camp, has already had the so-called connection with Herbert. But they just had, was it Mike Jones? I don't know. Anyway, they've had a couple of retirements or anything.
Yeah.
Mike Johnson. Yeah. Anyway, so
Yeah.
Quentin Johnson's not there. Quentin Johnson's been terrible.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great division and so hard to pick. Obviously second, but they will make the playoffs, whoever it is. And yeah, it's a hard one. I just really like the Chargers.
We'll flip over to the NFC, and obviously we go to the NFC East, where the reigning champion Philadelphia Eagles looking to repeat, but Washington pipping up a little bit here as well. Cowboys fell away, but you've got Dak with the richest quarterback in the game, and then the Giants. Do you see the Eagles repeating this one again and taking this division, or do you think that Washington and Dallas have anything to say about it?
This is another hard one, but Washington has signed some really good pieces. I'm really biased, and I really like Lattimore. It depends. He didn't show at the end of last year what he got, but he's getting old, but it's still a great signing. And they've only added to the offense as well. Even though everyone said Debo's got fat, I think he's proven that this is where it's his proving year. He's going to say, I'm out of San Fran. So I like Washington to challenge the Eagles, but it's going to be very hard. Like they've added to things, but I'm not sold on their running back position. I don't, Brian Johnson's not been that great for yards, but it's a great offense and they've only added to their defense as well, and that's where they've obviously coaching style has been where they've added to. So yeah.
What about the Cowboys? How do you think? What do you? No.
Yeah, no. But good pickup with Pickens, but that attitude as well is going to be hard to deal with. I think.
Yeah.
And Ferguson had a down year last year, so it's just depends if he gets better. But Dak is notorious for coughing, for choking. So, and their running back position as well. I don't think Williams is the savior for their running back position, which has always been a quite key focal point for them. And there will be regression for CeeDee Lamb, but because target share is going to get taken away with Pickens, because he's going to want the ball a lot more rather than having what's the other wide receiver two being just veterans or late wide receiver draft picks. So yeah, I just think it's Eagles win, then second with Washington to challenge, but the other two I think are just going to let themselves down. Cowboys always
Let's move on to the NFC North then, where Detroit Lions did really well last season. They fell apart near the end. Aiden Hutchinson was obviously a big key loss for them. You can notice that when they happen, they've lost some personnel as well. They've also
Mm.
lost some coaching personnel. Do you think that they can hold it? Do you see Minnesota or Green Bay or the Bears threatening, or is this Detroit all over again?
Yeah, the coaching loss is the biggest one. Obviously, they played so well through injury. I think their defensive injuries were telling right at the end, and it really cut them. And that was the reason why they were suffering. Um, it's so hard to go away from the Lions just with personnel and with the coaching style. But losing Ben Johnson's huge. I think that's and losing him to a division rival is just massive as well. So he's the supposedly coaching genius. So I personally don't know who the new coach is there, but he's got big shoes to fill. And uh, it seems like Jared Goff is found his step there, and they've got the talent to do it. So I just don't see how they can't have a high win total. But it's just it's a it's a division for they can win. I think they if if the Packers aren't the Packers, and the Bears have got a rookie coach, head coach. So if they don't step up, then it's going to be the Lions to win. But they've got the talent there. So Gibbs has been amazing. Amon St.
Do you
Brown is
do you agree
yeah.
with me that the Packers aren't going to win a game this year and they're going to go 0 and 17?
Absolutely not. I
Yeah.
love Josh Jacobs. I think Josh Jacobs. Everyone was sleeping on Josh Jacobs when he signed there, and they were like, "Oh, he was terrible that season at the Raiders, and he's not going to do anything at the Packers," and literally proved everybody wrong. Um, and Love has just stepped into those shoes and just got better and better with time. And I think every single Packers fan, including our friend Andre, was screaming at the TV for them to take a wide receiver
Yeah.
at the first round, and they got their savior, in Golden from Texas, and they think he's going to be the next big thing, and they've had so many injuries in that position. They've got Watson as well. That's always had hamstring issues, and Dubs has stepped in, but having that premium wide receiver one is what they've been missing since they lost. It's gone over my head. They lost Adams. Sorry, when they lost Adams
Yeah.
as well. So um, obviously he wasn't a first round pick, but he stepped up in that position. But yeah, they're not. They're definitely going to. Yeah, I don't see how they're not going to win again.
Let's go to your division then. They're, obviously the Saints struggling in that division. Atlanta, the big surprise, I think, was Tampa Bay and Baker balling out last year.
Yeah. Mm.
Um, they've got a good running game in Bucky Irving.
Mm.
Um, and then, of course, you've got Carolina, who, Bryce Young, after he was quarterback whispered by the Ginger Ninja Andy Dalton, he played a lot better. I mean, you guys are, I think, expected your win total is 5.5.
Mm.
Who do you like to win this division?
Um, it would be Bucks. Bucks are obviously the only cloud for the Bucks for me um, is Chris Godwin, and just after the injury season, and if he's going to be Chris Godwin of himself, because Mike Evans needs that support player as well, not to get too crowded, because he does get if he's getting too crowded, it does affect his yards. But McMillan's been good for them. They've had some good signings there as well, with other wide receivers, but Baker just balled out. You're right, like Baker balled out last year, and that 1-2 punch with Irving and White. Even though I hate to say it, Rashid White is terribly inefficient sometimes, but he's there to take that pressure off Bucky. So yeah, I think I like the Bucks. Everyone, I think other people, especially around the traps, will say the Falcons. Penix year two, and Bijan is slated to have a monster season. So they're screaming Falcons, but I just can't go away from that Baker Mayfield just seems to find a way to win. And you've got your first round pick, Bryce Young at the Carolina Panthers. and they've only added to it with the wide receiver one, McMillan from Arizona. Um, and they've got some good young talent there, and then they've got Old Man Thielen to back that up. So, and Chuba Hubbard had that flashes as well, and they've got a good
Canadian
defense.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
good
defense
defense as
actually good.
well.
Yeah,
It's really good. They've paid a lot
even
of
after
money. Like,
losing Brian Burns. Yeah,
yeah, and yeah, exactly. And that's been a strength of Carolina in the past, and they've solidified that as well. But the Falcons' defense as well. The Falcons have added to it. They took two pass rushes as well. I saw a lot of people saying that that was the weakness of their team as well. So they've done some good draft picks to help their team out. But it's I can't go away from the Bucks. Yeah.
we'll go to the final division then, where obviously the Rams, came out last year. You got Sean McVay. A lot of people thought after the Super Bowl that they would just fall apart because they bought the one championship. But San Fran was the big disappointment, falling apart
Mm,
and then losing half their team.
mm.
You have Seattle that did so well with Geno, but then you've also wondered and gone, what's going on with Arizona? Um, you know, what's going to happen with Kyler? Is he going to be able to, get this team together? Because a lot of people are saying, well, this could be their year. No, they had too many injuries and things. How do you like the 1-2 punch here in this division?
So what I find, this division is a great division, obviously every year, but Rams and the Rams and the Cardinals for me are the big watch. Firstly, the Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr. is pretty much repeating the same stats as his father. So people are going to take the risk and go, geez, he's going to repeat his dad's season, but it's Kyler Murray compared. So that's a big one. And Old Man Connor now still producing and still being really good there. And then McBride is obviously just dominant in that tight end one position for them, and finally getting his touchdown as well after a long time. But Rams obviously dynamic offense. I think only adding to going, oh, we don't want Old Man Cup anymore, and then going, oh, we want Old Man Adams, but Old Man Adams is just so elite. And they got Puka Nakua. They're I the only thing for them is going to be defense, and how much they've like how it's going to stop all these other powerhouses as well. But what I've thought about the Seahawks. They've got Sam Darnold. I'm not really high on it, but if um, if K9 Walker stays healthy at the running back position, which is a big unknown, and they've got JSN has a really good season. I saw Noah Fant just got released from their team as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously they're a bit lackluster there, but they've got some good receivers, and it's just hard to go past. Um, it's hard division, but I think Sam Fran maybe, yeah, Rams. I think I'm so suspect about Kyler because he's always let me down in the past. He's either been
Yeah.
hot or cold, absolute hot or cold, and his run game is key for him. And if he doesn't have his run game, his rushing game, then
Yeah.
he's just he just falls flat.
And he hasn't been growing either, which to me it's the height issue a lot of times because you see some balls and he's hitting guys in the back of the head and you're like, dude, this is the NFL. Like, you got to like jump
Yeah,
that 3-pointer or something like that.
he's it's
If
so bad. It's so bad in front of the O line. Sometimes you actually watch the game, and you can't see him behind the O line, and it's just
Yeah.
him throwing it over blind, and it's just the height, obviously. So that's why his scramble has just been he can't see it, so he just knows it's there, but he'll just scramble.
All right, final thing, way too early. Super Bowl prediction. If you were to choose one team from the AFC, one team in the NFC, you put them together, we make a Super Bowl. Who would you say way too early would you see in there?
Um, NFC Eagles. I'm sad to say, but Eagles for me is just hard to go past. They've still got their offense, and they've had some really good drafts, and I really hate to say it, and people know that I'm not a big Eagles fan. I just don't like them, but just hard to go past them. And I really want the Lions to be there, but yeah, Eagles for me, NFC, and then Bills. I know I think. I think, yeah, I really want them to win. I'll tell my secret. Every year I put a bet on the Bills to win the Super Bowl, and it hasn't been good for lately. But we know Ryan. We know Ryan. He just
Yeah.
gets me hyped up, and they've just had all these great pieces that they can put things together. But I just think Bills deserve to have that Super Bowl. But also you've got the Broncos there. You've got Kansas City. But yeah, I'm stuck in my ways. I just really like Josh Allen. Always been a Josh Allen fan. Massive, massive.
Well, that's good, man. Thanks a lot for joining us all the way from New Zealand. It'd be good to have you. We're going to get our fantasy going. If any of the fans out here, we do post a lot of stuff on our social media about our fantasy. As I said, Zared, returning champ. I'm going to get that trophy and etch it on you. Although, because I've been back and forth between Canada and London, I've got it sitting around here. And then I will see you in a little bit as well. So, Zared Coburn, thanks a lot for joining us. And man, let's bring on this NFL season.
Thanks, Wade. Appreciate it.